Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Darwin, sarjana pendidikan magister pendidikan. Saya adalah salah satu dosen tetap program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris di Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas Manado, Toli. Spesifikasi saya adalah mengajar mata kuliah yang berkaitan dengan kemampuan berbicara atau speaking. Salah satu mata kuliah yang saya ajarkan adalah Speaking for Everyday Communication, yang diajarkan di semester 1 dengan bobot 2 SKS. Dalam mata kuliah ini terdapat dua capaian pembelajaran. Pertama, capaian pembelajaran program studi, dan kedua, capaian pembelajaran mata kuliah. Selanjutnya, di capaian pembelajaran program studi meliputi: 1. Mahasiswa menginternalisasi nilai, norma, dan etika akademik. 2. Mahasiswa memiliki kompetensi komunikatif yang diperlukan untuk berkomunikasi secara efektif, baik komunikasi lisan, tulis, visual maupun bahasa tubuh dalam konteks akademik dan non-akademik. Selanjutnya, yang ketiga, mahasiswa mampu menerapkan pemikiran logis, kreatif, inovatif, dan kritis dalam konteks akademik dan non-akademik. Yang keempat, mahasiswa mampu berkomunikasi secara efektif, baik komunikasi lisan, tulis, visual maupun bahasa tubuh dalam konteks akademik dan non-akademik. Selanjutnya, yang kelima, mahasiswa diharapkan mampu berbicara dalam bahasa Inggris dengan kemampuan dasar sesuai bidang yang diperlukan. Capaian pembelajaran mata kuliah. Capaian pembelajaran mata kuliah ini adalah mahasiswa diharapkan memiliki kemampuan berbicara dalam bahasa Inggris seperti menggambarkan seseorang, meminta petunjuk arah, meminta maaf, serta memperkenalkan diri dan menjelaskan hobi dalam bahasa Inggris. Mata kuliah ini dirancang untuk 14 kali pertemuan di kelas dengan durasi 6 bulan atau 1 semester. Selanjutnya, dalam pelaksanaan pembelajaran di mata kuliah Speaking for Everyday Communication, saya menerapkan sistem perkuliahan yang berbasis pada kemampuan perorangan yang dididik dan dilatih melalui kegiatan pembelajaran secara mandiri dan berkelompok di kelas dan di luar kelas. Membangun kemampuan berpikir kritis dengan memanfaatkan berbagai sumber belajar seperti video YouTube, buku, artikel, majalah, seminar, forum diskusi, dan media sosial lainnya. Kemudian, untuk mendukung keterampilan berbahasa Inggris, saya juga melibatkan mahasiswa sebagai pemandu wisata dan kegiatan pengabdian di masyarakat seperti bimbingan belajar bahasa Inggris serta kegiatan lainnya. Ini saya lakukan dengan tujuan agar mahasiswa dapat mengembangkan kemampuan mereka secara bebas melalui penerapan prinsip merdeka belajar. Harapannya adalah setelah mahasiswa menyelesaikan studi, mereka benar-benar siap untuk terjun di dunia kerja tanpa merasa ragu dan dapat menerapkan kemampuan yang mereka pelajari selama di kegiatan perkuliahan. Selanjutnya, mahasiswa juga diharapkan akan menjadi agen perubahan yang dapat menghadirkan ide-ide baru bagi masyarakat. Kemudian, dalam mata kuliah ini, mahasiswa akan mempelajari beberapa topik yang berkaitan dengan: 1. Kemampuan mengidentifikasi tata cara speaking. 2. Kemampuan memperkenalkan diri dalam bahasa Inggris. 3. Kemampuan melakukan komunikasi menggunakan telepon. 4. Kemampuan menjelaskan ciri fisik seseorang dan sifat-sifat dalam diri seseorang. 5. Kemampuan mempraktekkan tata cara meminta sesuatu. 6. Kemampuan melakukan aktivitas jual beli yakni menawar, membayar, bertanya tentang harga, memahami mata uang. 7. Kemampuan melakukan deskripsi mengenai suatu tempat. 8. Kemampuan dalam mendeskripsikan jadwal, janji, dan waktu khusus. 9. Mahasiswa mampu menjelaskan dan bertanya mengenai hobi. 10. Mahasiswa mampu menjelaskan petunjuk arah untuk menuju suatu tempat. 11. Mahasiswa mampu berkomunikasi dalam hal transportasi yakni memanggil kendaraan umum dan membayar ketika telah selesai. 12. Mahasiswa mampu mengekspresikan maaf, mencari waktu yang tepat untuk meminta maaf, memaknai media yang tepat untuk meminta maaf, dan memberikan maaf kepada seseorang. Dan yang ke-13, mahasiswa mampu melakukan wawancara dengan berbagai macam topik. Selanjutnya, metode pembelajaran. Dalam mata kuliah ini, saya mengkolaborasikan metode delivery, discussion, dan simulation. Metode delivery saya gunakan untuk memberikan penjelasan secara jelas terkait materi yang menjadi topik pembahasan. Kemudian dilanjutkan dengan diskusi, di mana di dalam kegiatan diskusi melibatkan mahasiswa dan dosen, mahasiswa dan teman sekelas. Tujuannya adalah agar materi-materi yang kurang jelas dapat diperjelas dan mahasiswa dapat menyiapkan diri mereka untuk melakukan simulasi atau praktek secara langsung baik mandiri ataupun berkelompok. Selanjutnya, model perkuliahan. Dalam proses pembelajaran di mata kuliah ini, saya menggunakan metode tatap muka atau luring yang disesuaikan dengan keadaan. dan bisa juga didukung oleh kegiatan daring atau Zoom meeting. Kemudian dalam menyampaikan materi, saya menggunakan media PowerPoint dan papan tulis. Selanjutnya, untuk mendukung proses pembelajaran terus berkelanjutan, saya juga menggunakan media jaring sosial, WhatsApp group, di mana di dalam grup ini mahasiswa bebas mengajukan pertanyaan jika terdapat materi yang kurang jelas. Kemudian, assessment. Dalam mata kuliah ini, saya menilai mahasiswa berdasarkan kontrak studi yang sebelumnya telah disampaikan di awal perkuliahan dan disepakati, yang meliputi kehadiran tugas mid semester dan final semester. Referensi. Untuk menyediakan sumber belajar yang mutakhir, saya mengkolaborasikan materi saya dan berbagai sumber, diantaranya buku, artikel, majalah YouTube, berupa video, tutorial, atau praktek speaking. Kemudian, untuk dapat melihat kondisi real pembelajaran di kelas yang saya lakukan, dapat dilihat pada video berikut ini. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And good morning, students.
Morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm good.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, students, thank you very much for coming to follow my subject for the task meeting. Today, we are going to discuss about speaking for everyday communications. And before we are going to start our learning for today, first I want to instruct you to pray based on your beliefs for Almighty God. We hope Almighty God, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, will bless us for our learning and teaching for today. Please. Okay, that's all. Okay, before we are going to start our teaching and learning process, now I'm going to check your attendance list first. How many students have attended our class? Yeah. Andi Muhammad Ari. Okay. Nurai Asia. Nur Alvina.
Present, sir.
Aprilia.
Present, sir.
Didin Pratama.
Present, sir.
Adara Putri.
Present, sir.
Fajar Ramadan.
Present, sir.
Nurjana.
Present, sir.
Perni.
Present, sir.
Nur Anissa.
Present, sir.
Igede.
Present, sir.
Hikmah.
Yes, sir.
Debriansa.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, students, give your attention here. Today, we are going to discuss about, this is the learning objective. The first thing that we want to achieve in our teaching and learning process for this activity. At the end of this lesson, students are expected to be able to understand and use greeting correctly, to be able to introduce themselves, asking people names, asking people address, asking people place of origin, asking people occupation, and asking people. We know some of greeting. The first is good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, good night. This is a formal. We always use it in formal situations. Good morning and good day and good afternoon and good evening. And the second one is informal situations. We can use good night if you in the night and we go to sleep and we say goodbye to our parents or others. We say good night. And hello, hi, hello, how are you? And the next, hi, hello, I'm fine, and hi, hello. We can use that to say greetings to others. How's life? Not bad, thanks. And how are you doing? The answer is I'm very well, thanks. Next, come from another country. I come from Indonesia. I come from Sulawesi. The next, pleased to meet you. I am. Let me introduce myself, and I'd like to introduce myself. And the next, introducing other. We can use Jack. Please meet Nicholas. Or Jack, have you met Nicholas? Or I would like you to meet Eliza, and then I would like to introduce you to Betty, and next Leila. Students, when you start studying this, I have to tell you. So that most native speaker of English will never say this. Yeah, what is your name? It's impolite. Impolite one. We use what is your name? Yeah. To make it polite, we can use hi, I'm Dina, and you. Yeah. And the second, I'm sorry, what is your name again? And the next, what was your name? Or I'm sorry, what was your name? Yeah. Okay. Asking people place of origins. This expression we can use to asking people place of origin. Because to ask somebody origin, we can say where do you study, where do you live, where do you go now, and where do you come from. Asking people occupations. This is an expression we can use. What do you do? And the second, I'm a doctor. What about you? And next, where do you work? And next, what do you work for? And what do you do for living? What do you do for living means that how we get money. Yeah, it's work. Next, asking people family. Do you have any brother or sister? You can use this one. Yeah. Do you have any brother or sister? Yeah, I have two brother and sister, or two sister and so on. Is he or she older young or younger than you? You can use this one. Yeah, are they older or younger than you? And I'm not. I'm only child. Okay, that's all my slides for you. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay, you can see. Yeah, I will show you a video here. See this video for 10 minutes. This is the materials how to introduce ourselves and other people.
Hi, I'm Rebecca from beingbabe.com. In this lesson, you'll learn how to introduce yourself and also how to introduce people who don't know each other. Now, sometimes you learn a lot of English and you still feel nervous, you don't feel confident doing simple things. So this is one of those simple but important things that you need to be able to do. To be able to walk up to someone, to introduce yourself, and also to know how to respond when someone does that. And that may be true whether you're at a business conference or at a party. Okay, so let's get started. So here, first we'll talk about the formal situation. So let's say we'll start over here. Hello, I'm Bill White. The response is, hi, I'm Susie Jones. So he says then, it's a pleasure to meet you. And she says, it's a pleasure to meet you too. Okay? Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Why? Because, especially in this part, you're just repeating what the other person says, except that you're adding the word to. Okay? Let's try again. Hello, I'm Bill White. Now, at that point, you probably want to listen to what you're going to say are these things. You should try to maintain a straight posture because they look more professional that way, especially in a business situation. In a North American context, also we establish eye contact. All right, that shows that we're not afraid, that shows we're not hiding anything. All right, shows confidence. And you want to give a firm handshake. Okay, don't keep your hand really weak. Keep it firm, not hard. Don't squeeze the other person's hand, but make a firm handshake. And this is true whether you're a man or a woman. And usually we smile because it's a little bit, it shows that you're a friendly person and you're happy to meet the other person, even in a business situation. So let's get started. And what I was saying is about the handshake, you could shake hands right here. You could say, hello, I'm Bill White. Or you could say it at this point when you say, it's a pleasure to meet you. Okay? Hello, I'm Bill White. Hi, I'm Susan Jones. Is to mention the person's name when you're saying it's a pleasure to meet you. Okay? But sometimes in business context, you're not yet sure whether it's saying Ms. Jones or Susan, so you can try it. And you can say, it's a pleasure to meet you, Ms. Jones. And she might say, oh, you can call me Susan. It's a pleasure to meet you too. And so on. Okay? But mainly, this part is repeating. Next, in an informal situation, we're just repeating. So what happened? Here, it's a little more formal. So we said, it's a pleasure to meet you. use that. And also instead of hello, we're just saying hi. All right? Hi, I'm George. Hi, I'm Maria. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Okay? So try that. Next, I'll show you how to introduce people who don't know each other. So let's see how to introduce people to each other. First, we'll do this in a formal situation, okay? So let's pretend in this scenario that there are 3 people. You are Carol Smith, and you know Scott Topper, and you know Stephen Shaw. But they don't know each other. But you don't know that, so you have to find out first, because sometimes people do know each other. So, Carol is going to speak first. So Carol knows both of them, all right? So she says, Carol Smith says, have you met each other? So let's say she turns to one of them or to either of them, and she says, so Scott answers, and he says, no, we haven't. Sometimes this person will answer, sometimes both of those people will answer kind of at the same time, say, no, we haven't. Doesn't matter. And then Carol says, if it's a formal situation, Mr. Topper, this is Mr. Shaw. Mr. Shaw, this is Mr. Topper. Now, sometimes this part is not necessary because it's kind of obvious. So usually if you just say the first part, people will start introducing themselves then to each other, or continue with the pleasure to meet you. But if you want to know the traditional way in which it's done like that. Okay, so Mr. Topper, this is Mr. Shaw. Mr. Shaw, this is Mr. Topper. And at that point also, when you're deciding whose name to say first, some of the rules of protocol are that if there is an older person and a younger person, you introduce the older person to the younger person. Okay? So let's say in this situation that Mr. Topper is older, and then you would say Mr. Topper's name first. If they're both about the same age, it doesn't matter. Okay? So then Mr. Topper, remember the earlier lessons we learned, what we learned just now, the expression, it's a pleasure to meet you. And Mr. Shaw says, pleasure to meet you too. Okay? You don't always have to repeat the entire expression. It's a pleasure to meet you. Even in a formal situation, it's fine to say, pleasure to meet you too, because that's the critical part. All right? So, now that's the formal scenario. Let's go through it one more time. Have you met each other? No, we haven't. Mr. Topper, when Mr. Topper says, it's a pleasure to meet you, that's when Mr. Topper will put out his hand for the handshake, and Stephen Shaw will take his hand and shake his hand. Now, if it's an informal situation, it's pretty much the same way at the beginning. Have you met each other? No, we haven't. So you can say, Scott, this is Stephen. Stephen, this is Scott. And then they will use the informal expressions. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Okay? So these expressions, pleasure to meet you, nice to meet you, they can take you a long way in introducing yourself and in introducing others. Now, of course, there are many ways to introduce yourself. Not only what I've said here, not only what I've taught you here, but I always advise my students that it's better to learn one way properly than to learn 3 different ways and then get mixed up. Okay? So make sure you've mastered one way to introduce yourself and to introduce other people, and then you can move on to other variations, because you are definitely going to hear a variety of variations on this. Okay? So if you'd like to practice this a little bit, go to our website, www.english.com, and you can do a quiz on how to introduce yourself and how to introduce other people. Thanks for practice this a little bit. Go to.
Okay, students, thank you. Now it's a video about how to introduce ourselves and other people. Okay, the next agenda for us, I will make it to be a group. Each group consists of 5 students, and then you practice or you discuss with your friends to make a text. How to introduce yourself. I will invite you one student as a representative from your group. Come to in front of the class to introduce yourself as a sample for the other people, other students. Okay, yes. A text. Discuss with your friends. How to introduce yourself. I give you time. 15 minutes. Do it now.
Sir, read text, sir.
Huh?
Read text.
You make it text girls, and then you practice in front of the class without text. You can make introduction. Yes.
Aja. Last name. Siapa aja? Kan dua kata. Saya. Berarti kau saya. Ekonomi pajak saja. Untuk begitu. Sebagai orang. Lebih panjang. Berarti sejak kecil kok dari sini. I was.
Now I invite you, one of you from your group, as a representative of your group, to show us how to introduce ourselves. Okay? Each group, who wants to be as the volunteers to come from outside class?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Fajar Ramadan. My first name is Fajar. My last name is Ramadan. You can call me Fajar or Ramadan. I was born in Toli-Toli, 25 November 2002. I live in Tambun. I live there from Wastil. My father is farm and my mother is teacher. My hobby is singing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Febri. My first name is Febri and my last name is Dansya. You can call me Ongeng or Febri. I live in Street of Tadulaku 2.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Adi Pransa. My first name Adi. The last my name is Priyansa. You can call me Adi or Tedam.
Yeah, today students, now it's the end of our class for today. Thank you very much for attending my class and see you for the next meeting. If you have any questions related to our subject for today, you can ask me by our group WhatsApp class. Yeah, and I will open 1 week or 7 days. Yeah. Okay, have a nice day and see you for the next meeting. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, sir.